everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Allison if you're new here, and welcome to Wonderland. Today we're going to be talking about book signings. Specifically, book signings if you are a self-published author. Now I know within the pandemic, book signings aren't really a thing right now, but I thought I'd film this video now because I got a couple requests for it on a previous video, and I love talking about self-publishing things. I divided this into 3 parts, and the first part is the publishing path. Now, this is a really important step, and by publishing path, I mean where you're going to publish your book through. So either KDP, Barnes & Noble Press, Ingram Spark, so many I can't even get my head around it, but I'm going to be talking about those 3. Let's start with Ingram Spark and Barnes & Noble Press. So I have not really looked into Barnes & Noble Press. I looked at their ebook option, but I just thought as a distribution, I wanted to go through KDP for my ebook because it was just the easiest option, and the formatting and all of that was the easiest way for me. So I personally did that. But for physical books, you're going to want to look at this for book signings. If you want to have a book signing within Barnes & Noble itself, it has to be through either Ingram Spark or Barnes & Noble Press. And the reason is because it doesn't come to our catalog if not. If you didn't know, I previously worked for Barnes & Noble pre-pandemic, and I learned a lot through that regarding book signings and everything like that because I helped run book signings. I had my own book signing at my store, and yeah, I just really enjoyed it. But if you are wanting to do a book signing through Barnes & Noble, it has to be through one of those because we can't order books if it's not in our system. Now, KDP is a really good option if you're just doing an indie bookstore, because personally through my indie bookstore, I haven't done a book signing there yet because I wanted to do it later on. I wanted to do like another book signing with another author, and then the pandemic hit, so we haven't done it. But for my indie bookstore, you bring your books, so you bring a box of books or anything like that because you sign a consignment agreement with them, and I'll get into consignment agreements in a second. So that is a cost that you take when you do an indie store. I don't know if all indie stores are like that, but the ones I've run across, they are. Barnes & Noble, you do not pay. They personally get the books for you. You give them a stock count that you would like. I did a little bit higher of a stock count because I knew I was going to have a lot of family there. So if you are doing KDP, it's easier to get your books through Amazon and everything like that, ordering wise, once you do publish the book. I know KDP has an issue with pre-ordering author copies without like the ugly banner on it. So if you are going to do an indie bookstore signing, I would do it like a week or so later. That way you can get your books and they're nice and pretty for your signing. Now, I mentioned consignment agreements, and these are like contracts that you sign with a bookstore. So I signed a consignment agreement with my local indie bookstore. It was pretty much saying that they're going to sell my book, and I had to do 2 for both bookstores. I sent a book with them, a paperback, and they read the book and then they put it on the shelves. So each indie bookstore has a different consignment agreement. Even Barnes & Noble has a consignment agreement, but you don't really have to do that if it's in our system already. I don't really understand Barnes & Noble's consignment agreement because I never signed it, but that is something you are going to want to look over if you do have to sign a consignment agreement for your local indie store, and that's something you talk to the owner or, you know, an employee that understands the signing process. Next thing I'm going to talk about is your signing materials, and this isn't necessarily like your books, because if you are bringing your books, they're going to be in a box. You obviously can't forget your books, but these are like checklist things that sometimes people forget, and I was like really a stickler. So I got like do you know those like teacher boxes? I'll put a picture up here that they like wheel around the school. I bought one of those from Office Max, and it was a blessing because I just stuck all of my things that I needed in there, all my like random bits and bobs in there, and I just rolled it through the store. I looked like a teacher. I was living my best teacher life. And my first thing that I recommend everyone bring to their book signing is Sharpies. I bought a pack of 3 of these, and they still work great. This is my favorite kind, and it's just the fine retractable Sharpie, and it's so nice because you don't have a cap to worry about. You don't have to worry about if the bookstore is going to have a Sharpie that works or if that Sharpie isn't going to be how you like to write with it. I just recommend bringing your own writing tool. That way you can practice with this and you're not freaking out. Next thing I suggest bringing is a bookmark that you can stick in each book. That way they have a special little bookmark. Mine is just Liliana on the front and it says Never Trust a Bedtime Story. I designed these. I also have ones that a local Twitter artist designed, and I haven't gotten those printed yet, but for the next signing I'm doing, that was the plan, to have those. And they're really cool because it's 3, and so each person gets 3 bookmarks when they come, and they make like a full picture. It's really cool. It's just a little keepsake, and that way when they're done they can use your bookmark in other books and they can like remember your book. Another thing is business cards. This is my business card. It's just super plain. I would actually like to update it. And what this has on it is my name, and then it says Never Trust a Bedtime Story. It has angel wings on it, and then on the back it says social media novels. This one says Dark Radiance Never Trust a Bedtime Story Fall 2019 because that's when I had these printed. And then it has my YouTube channel, Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, and website on it so they can find me. Now if I don't usually give these out at signings, but I put them on the table just in case people want them to connect with me later. But you can also do a backside of your bookmark where it has your social media information on it, which is super smart. I just liked these plain ones. But every time I send a book out for like a virtual signing, if someone buys a book on my website and it's personalized, I stick both of these in there. This can be used as a bookmark. This is just a fun keepsake. That way I'm promoting myself in an easy marketing way instead of like shoving it down someone's throat. And the last thing I personally did for my signing was I brought an extra copy of the book. And in this book, I had every single person sign it. I got this idea from Sasha Aldridge, who went on a like big tour with Zenith, and she had people sign a copy of Zenith to keep, and I just thought that was a really smart idea. It just has really sweet notes about it in here. Like all of my friends and family signed it, and I will forever hold tight on this, and this is something I will do every single book I have. That way I have like a special book, and it's kind of like a yearbook of people who came to your signings. Anyone can sign it, and I put like a sign on it, like a sticky note that says please sign my book for my personal collection. And that, I don't know, I just thought it was fun, and you can look back on it and smile at the memories of your signings. Now part 3, which was my personal experience with a book signing. So I've had one book signing, and it was the day after Dark Radiance came out, so it's almost been a year, and I'm kind of freaking out. Oh my gosh, Dark Radiance has been out for almost a year now, and I did mine at my personal Barnes & Noble, so the one I worked at. The entire week it was quite awkward when I would walk in and my face was on a sign. Like, that was a dream come true to me, that my face was on a Barnes & Noble sign. Like, my picture, my book, and it said the signing. I actually got to keep the signs, which I think most Barnes & Nobles will let you keep the signs. If you ask them, they will give you the signs because we're just gonna throw them away, but make sure to ask them. I didn't because my manager already told me, but I have it. I'm gonna hang it up one day once I find a frame. But it was really special to be able to walk in and see my face on a sign that I never thought was gonna happen. It was also just crazy to be at a Barnes & Noble signing, because although I had a lot of family and friends there, I had a lot of random readers come up to me and ask about my book, ask just questions, and I had a lot of readers buy my book just because I was there, and I thought that was really cool. And I've connected with those readers now who live in Arizona, formed this little Dark Radiance community in my area, and it's really fun, and I'm forever grateful that I did that, because I never thought I would have the experience to be able to have a book signing. So I suggest, if you can, 1, get to know your employees at your local Barnes & Noble. Get to know the managers. Get to know the booksellers. We do recognize you. We do notice when we have regulars, and so get to know them. Get to know the events manager or the CRM, and once you do have time to have your signing, ask for the CRM's email address and email them and ask them if we could set up a signing, and they are more than happy to set something up. Just know that sometimes the schedule is booked out. Just give yourself a lot of time, but I think book signings are really special. It allows you to connect with readers, and if you have any other questions, let me know down below. I just kind of went over the basics of book signings and the one that I have done. I personally want to do so many more once the pandemic has calmed down and we are able to do them again. But yeah, if you have any more questions or you want me to go into detail about anything else self-publishing wise or book writing wise, anything that you want in this series, let me know down below, and I will see you next time in Wonderland, loves. Bye!